Why is it difficult to get to Mars? Hello guys. Today I am going to describe about how difficult to move auto get to Mars. Mars has long been a target for human exploration and scientific research, but getting there is no easy feat. There are several reasons why a manned mission to Mars is such a difficult and complex endeavor. In this video, we'll explore the three main challenges that make getting to Mars so difficult: distance, technological hurdles, and cost. Before go on depth, please subscribe our channel for more video. Distance and duration. One of the primary reasons why it's difficult to get to Mars is the distance and duration of the journey. Mars is an average of 140 million miles away from Earth, depending on the position of the planets in their respective orbits. This means that any spacecraft or mission to Mars must travel a great distance through space, which requires significant amounts of time, resources, and technology. The distance between Earth and Mars is constantly changing due to the difference in the lengths of their respective orbits around the Sun. At its closest point, which occurs every 2 years, Mars is about 34 million miles away from Earth. At its farthest point, which also occurs every 2 years, Mars can be up to 250 million miles away from Earth. The actual distance and duration of a mission to Mars will depend on the position of the planets at the time of launch, as well as the speed and trajectory of the spacecraft. The duration of a mission to Mars is also a significant challenge. Even at its closest point to Earth, a trip to Mars would take several months to complete. The shortest travel time between Earth and Mars is approximately 6 months, and the round trip would take around a year and a half. This is a long time to spend in space, and it poses significant challenges to the health and well-being of the crew. The long duration of a mission to Mars also requires significant amounts of resources, including food, water, and oxygen, as well as equipment and supplies for the crew. This makes the mission to Mars not only challenging, but also expensive. To address the challenge of distance and duration, several technologies and strategies have been developed. One approach is to use advanced propulsion systems, such as nuclear thermal propulsion or solar electric propulsion, which could significantly reduce travel time and fuel consumption. Another approach is to use in situ resource utilization, ISRU, which involves using resources available on Mars, such as water or carbon dioxide, to produce fuel or other necessary supplies. In addition, research is ongoing to develop new technologies to support long-duration space travel, including life support systems, medical technologies, and radiation shielding. This research is essential to ensuring the safety and well-being of the crew on a mission to Mars. Despite the challenges of distance and duration, there is significant interest in sending humans to Mars, due to its potential for scientific discovery and exploration. As technology advances and more research is conducted, it's possible that these challenges can be overcome, and a successful mission to Mars can be achieved. Technological challenges. Another major challenge to getting to Mars is the technological limitations and requirements involved in the mission. The mission to Mars requires a high level of technology and engineering, from the design and construction of the spacecraft to the development of life support systems for the crew. One of the major technological challenges is designing and building a spacecraft that is capable of transporting humans and equipment to Mars safely and efficiently. The spacecraft must be able to withstand the harsh conditions of space, including radiation, extreme temperatures, and micrometeoroid impacts. It must also be able to carry the necessary equipment and supplies for the crew, including food, water, oxygen, and medical supplies, while also providing a comfortable living space for the crew during the long journey. Another significant technological challenge is developing the propulsion systems required for the mission. The spacecraft must be able to travel the vast distance to Mars in a reasonable amount of time, while also conserving fuel and resources. This requires advanced propulsion technologies, such as nuclear thermal propulsion or solar electric propulsion, which are still in development and testing stages. Another major technological challenge is developing the life support systems necessary to sustain human life during the mission. The crew will need a reliable source of food, water, and oxygen, as well as systems for waste management, environmental control, and medical care. These systems must be able to function for the duration of the mission, and be able to withstand any potential malfunctions or failures. Furthermore, the mission to Mars requires significant advancements in robotics and autonomous systems. Robotic systems will play a critical role in supporting the crew during the mission, including performing maintenance and repairs on the spacecraft, exploring the surface of Mars, and conducting scientific research. These systems must be able to operate in the harsh environment of space and on the surface of Mars, while also being reliable and safe. To address these technological challenges, extensive research and development is ongoing in many areas. This includes developing new materials and manufacturing techniques to improve the strength and durability of spacecraft and equipment, as well as advancing propulsion technologies and designing more efficient life support systems. In addition, significant advancements are being made in robotics and autonomous systems, such as the development of advanced sensors and computer vision systems that can enable robots to navigate and perform tasks more efficiently. Despite the technological challenges involved, there is significant interest in the mission to Mars, due to its potential for scientific discovery and exploration. With continued research and development, it's possible that these challenges can be overcome, and a successful mission to Mars can be achieved. Cost and resources. Cost and resources are also major challenges in getting to Mars. It is estimated that a manned mission to Mars could cost anywhere from tens of billions to hundreds of billions of dollars, depending on the complexity and scope of the mission. One of the major costs associated with a mission to Mars is the development and construction of the spacecraft and associated equipment. This includes the design and production of the launch vehicle, the spacecraft itself, the habitats for the crew, the propulsion system, and the scientific equipment needed for the mission. All of these components require significant resources and funding to develop and manufacture. Another significant cost associated with a mission to Mars is the ongoing operational expenses. This includes the costs of maintaining the spacecraft and equipment during the mission, as well as the costs associated with supporting the crew, including food, water, and medical supplies. The mission may also require ongoing communication and support from Earth, which would add to the overall cost. Furthermore, the mission to Mars requires significant resources, including fuel, water, and oxygen, all of which must be carried on board the spacecraft. These resources must be carefully managed and conserved throughout the mission to ensure that the crew has enough to sustain them for the entire journey and stay on Mars. This requires advanced systems for resource management, recycling, and conservation, which adds to the overall complexity and cost of the mission. To address these cost and resource challenges, there are ongoing efforts to find more cost-effective solutions, such as developing more efficient propulsion systems and lightweight materials for spacecraft construction. There are also efforts to find ways to use resources available on Mars, such as the water ice believed to be present on the planet, to reduce the amount of resources that must be carried from Earth. Overall, the cost and resource challenges associated with a mission to Mars are significant, but they are not insurmountable. Continued research and development, as well as innovative solutions, may help to reduce the overall cost and make a manned mission to Mars more feasible. In conclusion, there are several reasons why it's difficult to get to Mars, including the distance and duration of the journey, the technological challenges involved in deep space travel and landing on the Martian surface, and the high cost and resource requirements of the mission. Despite these challenges, there is still significant interest in sending humans to Mars, due to its potential for scientific discovery and exploration. As technology advances and more research is conducted, it's possible that these challenges can be overcome, and a successful mission to Mars can be achieved.